Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to the Sandwich of Coherency. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. As you know, looks like the Senate's back in action. Whew, things are getting heated. This past week has been quite interesting. We're going to go ahead and jump right into Byron Donald's, cover a little bit about what's been happening at the border. And this is something that we've talked about quite a few times. And as we've gone over it, the past couple of years, the Democrats have been the ones in charge. Well, this is what the difference is now that the Republicans are running the show. Maybe we'll get some better insight into things. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this.
Thank you for being here. We're going to go really fast, a lot of stuff to cover. Going back for the past 12 years, border encounters, 2010, 447,000, 2011, 327,000, 2012, 356,000, 2013, 414,000. 2015, 331,000, 16, 408,000, 17, 303,000, 18, 396,000, 2019, 851,000, 2020, 400,000, 2021, 1.6 million, 2022, 2.2 million. There was somebody who became president of the United States in January of 21.
I got to pause it
January
right there.
20, 2021.
I mean, come on. That's one hell of a jump. Let's just keep going.
This gentleman actually got rid of the migrant protection protocols, the MPP program. He stopped border wall funding. He actually gutted the interior enforcement against illegal aliens. He put a 100-day moratorium to study border security protocols. In your opinions, you've done this job, both of you, for quite some time, and we thank you for your service. But in your opinion, do you believe these policy changes actually led to the drastic increases in border encounters at the southern border?
Thank you, sir, for the question, and I will try to go fast. What I can tell you in 27 years is that migration is very complicated. There are push and pull factors. The thing I can tell you that goes to the spike that you're talking about is in the Tucson sector, interviewing people post-arrest, what became the most common response was that they believed that when the administration changed, that the law changed and policy changed and that there was an open border.
Chief, I'm glad you said that because, ladies and gentlemen, the law did not change. Joe Biden decided not to follow the law. I've actually been, Chief Chavez, I've been in your section. I was that member that went to that bus that's run by HHS that was taking migrant children out of your holding facilities, and they were taking them to unmarked hotels somewhere along the southern border, which, by the way, is a no-bid contract to some for-profit company from the Department of Homeland of HHS to some for-profit company. What we see in the Yuma section are the drug cartels get fake IDs for the migrants that they are trafficking through our southern border, and they tell the migrants to drop the fake IDs before they meet up with our border agents. Chief Chavez, why would the drug cartels tell the migrants they are trafficking to drop their IDs before they engage our agents?
Because they do that so that way there's no identification on them and that we're not able to identify them, and they can be who they are, whoever they want to be at the time that we identify them.
Let's not forget they got the
Chief Chavez, got a second
colored
question for you.
bracelets as well.
When I was in, not your section, I was in Yuma section, one of the things that we found were empty capsules of Plan B, empty capsules of birth control. It's been said in this hearing that this is not a criminal process or a criminal issue. This is a humanitarian issue. Are there young girls who are being raped in the journey to the southern border?
There are cases where we have debriefed many of the young ladies, migrants that have come into our custody at our central processing centers that have said that they've been abused.
So we have young girls who are being raped in the journey to our southern border to be trafficked into the United States. We know the drug cartels charge anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 per person to come into the southern border. And we know that starting January 20, 2021, we had a four-fold increase in encounters with border agents. Chief Modlin, Chief Chavez.
You know, it, that's just one of the saddest things. You hear this, and in my opinion, this is what makes it even worse, is that we know that the cartels are doing this. This is not like something that we just found out yesterday. We know that this is happening, and we know that it ramped up as soon as Biden became president. And one of the major things about this is it's become so commonplace. You hear it every day. And I know I'm not trying to undermine it or undercut the severity of it, but it's so prevalent now every day in our everyday lives of the news. It's almost as if it's becoming just second passing, it's just something we now expect to hear about. And it's, to me, what makes it so disheartening is that little is being done to shut it down. It could a lot of it be prevented by improving our border? Yes, because as long as they know that they can continue to bring people in such ways, they're going to continue to do it. And the fact that you've had so much pushback from those on the left to keep the border, keep these situations open in the way that they are, that this has continued to go up even more each year. That's very, very, very scary. And I know people will say that was because, they want to bring illegal immigrants so they can give them immediate asylum or citizenship because they know that they'll vote for them. Is that a possibility? Yes, but if that were the case for anyone to be thinking that, and not even caring about the circumstances of what's happening to these young children that are coming here, to put their politics over the lives of these innocent people like that. I mean, there's not many ways to say anything without getting yourself flagged or anything, but let's just say it's tar and feather time. I'll just... But we're going to go ahead and play another clip. We're going to listen to Lauren Boebert. She kind of goes a little bit into the same thing, but dealing with Colorado. And it's just very interesting the way she kind of throws it out there, because it's almost as if she's directing this straight at AOC and the rest of her goons.
Mr. Speaker, I yield 2 minutes to the gentlewoman from Colorado, Ms. Boebert.
Gentlewoman from Colorado is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to speak in response to some of the opposition that I've heard to this legislation. First of all, we've heard about slave trade multiple times this evening. And if we're concerned about slave trade, well, then let's secure the southern border, because that's where the human trafficking is taking place. And millions of people are being trafficked, and women and children are being sexually assaulted and abused. Young girls are taking Plan B pills at the start of their journey because they anticipate being assaulted on their journey. So if this is something that you are that concerned about, then let's work together to secure the southern border and stop the human trafficking and the slave trade that is happening there. There's slavery that's taking place in China in the cobalt mines that these climate extremists are pushing. There's child and slave labor there, and that's where we're extracting our rare earth minerals from China-owned mines in the Congo. So let's talk together about American energy.
Let me pause it right there, because that's something we've talked about quite a few times. And, that's a major question that I keep asking. Are the lives of these innocent children and these innocent people that are being pushed into do this work, that are essentially slave labor, worth your electric vehicle? You know what I mean? And we've also talked about the slave trade happening in Libya. That began pretty much after they killed Gaddafi, because they created a vacuum, and it's been happening since then. And just keep in mind, that was when Barack Obama was president. So, they keep bringing up these type of topics. At least I'm saying the Democrats do. They keep bringing these things up and saying that, we have to do something about this. And it's just, to me, I think it's just such an ironic thing that these things pick up after they decide to do something about it. It's like when they say we're going to fix it, the problem gets worse.
You know, you say that this is just for local elections. Are there two registries? Well, how is that going to work if there are two registries? But I don't think it's going to stop there because every time we give in and give an inch, well, they take 7 miles. And the gentleman on the other side of the aisle, he mentioned that in Colorado, illegal aliens are voting. Well, illegal aliens are voting, but no state has actually allowed that since 1926 in America. There are loopholes that are allowing illegals to vote in our election, and this is election interference, allowing non-citizens to vote in our elections. And in fact, this is why crime rate is up in Colorado. We are encouraging illegal aliens to come to Colorado. We are #1 in the nation for bank robberies, #1 in the nation for auto thefts, #2 in the nation for fentanyl poisoning. We have a Department of New Americans. And if you go to the Colorado State website, it says, well, what is a New American? A New American is a Coloradan. May I have another minute?
I yield 1 minute.
Gentlewoman from Colorado is recognized.
Thank you. What is a New American? A New American is a Coloradan, an immigrant seeking asylum, a refugee, asylee, a DACA recipient, an SIV holder, and all other forms of immigrants seeking safety, opportunity, reunification of family, chain migration being encouraged in my state where non-citizens are voting and making a difference in our elections. Now, if there's a better way to do so, then let's let the DC County reevaluate this. That's why we're sending it back to them. And I would say that statehood is a matter that Congress has to consider on behalf of the entire nation and pursue a constitutional amendment if so desired.
And there you go. And I mean, I know people will say that there are countries in the world where they do allow non-citizens to vote in their elections. And to that I say, that's them. Let them do that if they want. You have to keep in mind what happens in your neighbor's house has no effect on your house unless you allow it inside your house. So, that's just something to think about. But again, this is what's going on. And finally, we have people that are actually talking about these situations directly. Not that they weren't before, but I think this time we might have a chance to actually get some change. And even if we can't get the change across directly, I think it'll make its difference in voting come the next election, because people will see the problems being brought up and they will see the people that they voted into power wanting to go against fixing those problems that are causing situations for them in their areas where they live at. So, and with those kind of problems continuing to emerge, violence and fentanyl overdoses and such, and yeah, I think they'll finally get their eyes open and vote for something better come this next election. So I thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.